My mom was and is an artist, and not in the traditional sense, but so I just remember drawing as a kid all the time and loving it, and it was kind of a big deal for every Christmas, every Easter. I'd get the big box of Crayola crayons with the sharpener in the back, and that was actually kind of a big deal. I still get it every Christmas, so it's cool. And I think people don't understand that, right? They don't understand that creative tension that happens when you're trying something new, and you have to give yourself permission to suck. I love that one. And I think that's at the heart of it. You gotta get yourself in a place where you can just be terrible for a while, and you get better. The need for creative people, and we're all creative. Right? We all have a creative side to our brain. To learn how to move forward, whether they're feeling nauseous, whether they're waking up in the middle of the night, where they feel like they can't take that next step. But the courage to go through that is the most important thing. And you don't always win. It's true. Sometimes it costs you, but in the end, that is the secret. Rolling the dice. It's okay. I'm excited about it because I think we are at the end of this industrial revolutionary kind of models, and what that means is that companies and organizations who are competing, it may be traditional, one bank competing against another bank, but we might just be talking about the Department of Transportation, who's competing for the citizens' attention, their interest, their feedback, their communication, so they know what to do better, right? So we're all competing for that, for something out there, to be heard, to be seen, to be understood, to be serving. It's almost a kind of a more democratized Renaissance. How's that? Do you get that on tape? Well, if you go back to the Renaissance, right? Renaissance was great. We had science and art and all this stuff, but let's face it, it was mainly for the sons of a handful of, rich and powerful people, right? Educated and powerful people. Thomas Jefferson could be a architect and a statesman and a writer, right? But, my grandfather, my great-great-great-great-grandfather probably didn't really have that option. Well, with the media we have now, the ability to connect over the internet, through other media, it's far more democratic. So the ability for everybody out there to be the artist, whether it's music or filmmaking or photography, everybody can do that now. The tool sets that are there, it's easy for them to be able to do it, regardless of how good they are. It's more democratic. Business is the same way. In the past, you would look at companies and say, I could never compete with them. But now you see that even big, strong companies, small little companies can pop up overnight, which can go after one small piece of their business and kick their ass. So whether it's business, whether it's science, whether it's art, whether it's music, whatever, there's far more democratic opportunity for everybody to be able to do this. So that, I think, is what pushes and makes possible, but also makes critical that this change is coming, so that everybody gets more connected with being fully human, which means being more creative. Even those people that like to think that they don't have a creative bone in their body, they all do. And once they tap it, they love it. So that's what's got me excited, is this rebirth of creativity. And as I said, a very democratic creativity. Everybody can find a place where they can be who they want to be. We can design websites and brochures and logos and branding campaigns, and we can do all of that. What I would say is that those things are not that hard to do anymore. that people are a lot more visually literate than they were 30 or 35 years ago. Education's better. They've got, the toolkits are incredible, right? So it's just not that hard. When things are like that, then they become a commodity. So if you can get it in a lot of different places and the price goes down, it's a commodity. Now, my tribe of graphic designers may not like to hear that, but that's just the truth. Secondly, I think marketing itself has become so toxic. The words that it uses, the fact that it's, for so long, it's been so much about bullshit, that it's inauthentic. People know it is inauthentic. It is the authoritative voice telling you what you will buy and what colors you'll buy it and how many you're going to buy. And people are sick of that, number one. They don't believe in authoritative voices, number two. And number three, they don't have to, because the internet lets them connect with the communities of people they do trust and love and believe in. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to change? If you've been in a place where you're telling people what to buy and they're not listening to you anymore, how are you going to change that? You need like a Sherpa, you need a guide, somebody who can take you through being more authentic, creating more authentic stories, building a community that helps tell you when you're being a bullshit artist and when you're not, building that community, getting them to help you innovate. And we think design is the right kind of driver, the cultural force that understands that creative collaboration, that understands storytelling and communications. Yeah, how many times, I can't even tell you, I mean, it's got to be 90% of the times when you hear somebody telling you that there's a problem, and they'll always come back to, what's a communications problem? Well, okay, why don't you get communicators to help you solve that problem, right? And don't tell them what to communicate. Let them begin to help you understand what needs to be communicated, right? So there, you need photographers and writers. You need the people who have their skill sets, but those people have to understand it's not the artifact that's so important. It is them as a cultural force, as a guiding, as a guider through that whole discussion. That's what's valuable. And if you think that, it's your photograph that's valuable in that model, well, you're wrong. Because I can probably get that photograph shot by 80 people tomorrow on a, I can. It might not be as beautiful, might lighting, but that's how the world's changed. And so we have to understand it's the cultural driver and the ability to think either outside the box, or if we just stay in the box, how can we see the box differently? And that's where our value is.